Which quality students like the most in a teacher? Entertaining. Down syndrome is genetic disorder. To understand personality, trait theorists attempted to classify traits and discover how they are related to behavior. Verbal guidance is least effective in the learning of skills. Which of the following comprise teaching skills? Blackboard writing, explaining, questioning, all of the above. The first committee to be constituted after independence by the Government of India on women's education was? Is that answer option B? The expansion of Sankalp is skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion. Techniques used by a teacher to teach include interactive lecture, group work, self-study. Option C. Which combination of methods of teaching is likely to be optimize learning? Interactive lecture sessions followed by buzz sessions, brainstorming and projects. Education falls under concurrent list. The fundamental national values have been given in the preamble of our Indian Constitution. As per the cognitive development theory, adolescent students are in which state of development? Formal operational stage. The quality of one's memory can generally be judged on the basis of his analytical ability, power of retention. Then development of creative thinking begins at what stage? Childhood. Question number 15. इसका correct answer है आपका option A. Which one of the following concepts of intelligence uses associative thinking? Emotional intelligence, as research paper evaluated by other experts either for publication or presentation at a conference, is considered to have undergone peer review. Right to education is a fundamental duty under Article 51 of which amendment of the Indian Constitution? 86th Amendment. National Skills Qualification Framework is a competency-based framework related to understanding, application and analysis. Question number 20. Which one is the basis for true knowledge? Naya based reasoning. The positive realists believe in objective values. National Education Day is celebrated every year on 14th of November. In which of the following one nation one standard is mentioned as the mantra to ensure national standards and quality? National Policy for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship 2015. According to the Bloom's traditional taxonomy, the highest level of learning in cognitive domain is evaluation. Establishment of diet was the result of one of the recommendations of National Policy on Education 1986. The right order of the structure of the mind according to the Freud is? इसका correct answer है आपका option A. Next, which one of the following is an important cause of mental ill health of the teacher in the school? Poor service condition, hostile attitude of students. इसका correct answer है आपका option D. Which of the following are the principles of development? All growths are related. Development has direction. Option C. Which of the following statement are correct about growth? Question number 30. Is the right answer है आपका growth is the physical change in an organism and growth is cellular. Option A. Next question number 31. Is the right answer है आपका option B, personal experiences. Name Stephen M. Covey is related to action research. Two variables x and y are correlated. This means that the two variables vary together. Which of the following variable is continuous? Attitude towards school. Which of the following is a discrete variable? Nationality. What is the opposite of a variable? A constant. The variable that the researcher changes or manipulates is called independent variable. One of the following is not a valid argument for conducting research in education for improvement of educational practice. Which one of the following is not an approach of analysis of qualitative data? इसका answer आपका option D. Which one of the following purpose demands action research? Solving a classroom problem. A research hypothesis is generally converted into null hypothesis because it cannot be tested statistically. Which scale is the simplest form of measurement? Nominal scale. Who said that in a society moral education is important, is necessary? इस right आंसर है आपका ऑप्शन ए. Which school held the view that God makes all things good and the man meddles with and they become ill? Naturalism. Who said that education is a man making? It is that by which his character is formed, strength of mind is increased, and intellect is expanded, and by which man can stand on his own feet. Swami Vivekananda. Next, who gave the theory of zone of proximal development? इसका करेक्ट आंसर है आपका ए. Main source of informational education is radio and TV. Curriculum written as part of formal instruction of school experience is known as spiral curriculum. Which theory contributed to the development of cooperative learning strategies? Constructivism. One of the following is the emerging trend of e-learning? Option D, all of these. Prayer cannot be offered with an empty stomach. This statement will get support from. Correct answer आपका ऑप्शन डी. Which of the following reflects the stance to be taken by a teacher advocating extensionalist education? Values are subjective and personal. By modernization is meant the process of adaptation in terms of current needs and lifestyles. The concept of equalization of educational opportunities implies providing resources to learners as per their ability. Which of the following combination will represent the disadvantaged sections of Indian society? Tribes, slum dwellers, and laborers. Option A. One of the following aspects focuses more on physical dimensions. Concept of growth. The right to free and compulsory education at primary education level is assured by our constitution under Article 21A of 2009 Act. Which of the following term is closely related to meaning of the term aptitude? Potential. One of the following provision is most appropriate for addressing the learning needs of students having disabilities? Individualized educational programs. Which of the following has been found to be effective for modifying teacher behavior in terms of evidences supported by research? Interaction analysis procedure for classroom teaching behavior. Which of the following mandate will be supported by a teacher with leanings in Buddhist philosophy? Experiences are great teachers. A teacher cannot truly teach unless he is learning himself is a viewpoint articulated particularly by Tagore. Which of the following society will promote caste loyalty? Closed society. Number 64. In which stage of development the child shows attainment of concept of reversibility as a cognitive capacity? Concrete operational stage. Which of the following research types is most useful for government in planning policies? Correlational studies. Which of the following combination represents Tagore's vision of education? Education is means of attaining self-sufficiency and confidence by men. Education can be attained through study and practice of arts, literature, drama, and music. And the nature of all men, of men all over the globe is one only. Option C. ABD. What is Gestalt word for transfer of learning? Transposition of understanding. In Gagne's learning hierarchy, which of the following is the highest type of learning? Problem solving learning. Who among the following cognitive learning promoters developed the concept of meaningful learning? David. Then question number 70. इसका correct answer है आपका neurological impairment. In context of the social development, hike of the following stages is characterized by intense self-awareness. Adolescence. In educational research, case study method gives importance to unique characteristics. In Buddhism, which school advocates the attainment of nirvana? Yana. Which of the following interventions are likely to raise Human Development Index? Health and wellness education. Peer group membership has high educational implications during later childhood. Which among the following gives more freedom to the learner to interact? Small group discussions. Exclusive educational channel of IGNU is known as option A, DD Gyandarshan. Which of the following is a social network? Twitter. The evidence on latent learning become the basis of formulating which theory model of learning? Tolman's sign gestalt theory, who advanced the concept of creative self as the most essential aspect of one's personality? Adler. Defense mechanisms are used by an individual to avoid unpleasant situations. A gifted child will tend to suppress the average child in which of the following areas? Academic achievement. Which of the following is not an element of inclusive education? Special class placement. Which one of the following features belongs to intellectual development during adolescence stage? Capacity of convergent and divergent thinking. For concept of emotional intelligence, which theory of intelligence is considered to be its forerunner? Bird's group factor theory. In learning situation, a student is able to give same or similar response to a class of stimuli. This will be called as a case of generalization explaining transfer of learning. The emphasis of guidance program is relatively more on individual. The purpose of vocalization of education is to help the child develop into a complete personality by training in vocational skills. Which of the following types of counseling is also known as client-centered counseling? Non-directive. Establishment of rapport in context of counseling means trusting relationship between the counselor and counselee. Good research tool is identified on the basis of ease of administration and handling. The hypothesis in research is usually formulated on the basis of setting up relationship between two or more than two variables. Which of the following methods of data collection can be considered as triangulation? An attempt to map out or explain the richness and complexity of human behavior by studying it from more than one standpoint using both quantitative and qualitative data. Which of the following types of research can be called as action research? As small scale intervention in the functioning of the real world with an intent of a close examination of the effects of such intervention. Who make decisions in the grassroots model of curriculum development? Teacher. In a test, a question was correctly answered by only 10 students out of 15. The difficulty level of that question is 40. This approach of educational administration will be called bureaucratic management. Mailed questionnaire, observation interview, and collective questionnaire are instances of primary resources. As the chairman of Independent Commission on Education was titled as Learning the Treasure Within. Then last question, इसका करेक्ट आंसर है आपका NIEPA.